Hey, what it do, everybody? Today we're going to be watching Ted Cruz just vomit nonsense all over C-SPAN live in front of like 4 people. So let's just get right into it.
Made a very serious strategic error today. Adam Schiff's arguments to open the day today directly drew into question Hunter Biden and made not only his testimony relevant, which it already was, but it is now critical because the House Democrats have built their entire case on the proposition that any investigation into Burisma and corruption was a sham, that it was completely debunked. The problem is there is very significant prima facie evidence of corruption. Hunter Biden, the son of the then sitting president, Joe Biden, was being paid $83,000 a month, $1 million a year.
Did he just say Joe Biden was then sitting president? It's a minor goof. Okay, he was the vice president. It's okay, Ted.
This is someone with no background in oil and gas, no
Can I call you Teddy?
experience. And at the same time, Joe Biden has publicly admitted that he threatened Ukraine. He withheld or threatened to withhold $1 billion of aid.
This is true.
Unless and until Ukraine fired the prosecutor that was potentially investigating the company on which his...
This is kind of a meme. See, this is what Republicans like to do. Not all Republicans, because not all Republicans are bad, sure. But dumb Republicans, like Ted Cruz, they like to take a statement that is true and then tack on a memey little not really true statement. And then the true statement gives credibility to the untrue statement. It's really sneaky. It's really tricky if you're not looking out for it. But that's what he just did there, because the reason why Joe Biden allegedly did this, at least according to Joe Biden, I'm no fan of Joe Biden. I like Bernie Sanders. I like Elizabeth Warren. I don't like old, decrepit Joe Biden. I had a joke there, but I lost it. Anyway, the reason why Joe Biden allegedly fired him, according to Joe Biden, is because he was corrupt. He was a corrupt judge, and that's backed up by a couple different people that I've seen. Haven't looked too much into this, so I don't really know. And just to be clear, I'm all for looking more into the corruption that Joe Biden and his son allegedly did, according to the Republicans. But can we please finish the Senate trial first? I mean, to conflate a former VP, Joe Biden, to the current sitting president, Donald J. Trump, is pretty dumb. And I don't understand why a lot of Trump sicko fans like to do this. Well, I kind of do, I guess, because they just ignore all the crimes that are accused of the president and just dogpile on all the people who are on the opposing side who get accused of crimes. It's kind of dumb.
His son served on the board. If the House manager's case is based on the allegations of corruption concerning Hunter Biden and Joe Biden being a sham, then it is directly relevant. And I got to say, the need for the Senate to hear the testimony of Hunter Biden and the need for the Senate to grant the White House lawyers the ability to take that testimony has become all the more relevant.
So, regardless of if Joe Biden or Hunter Biden did do some corruption, it's kind of irrelevant when it comes to the quid pro quo. Now, I don't know what arguments the Democrats are making, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I hate to be wrong, but a quid pro quo is still a quid pro quo. Trump still leveraged something to get something on a political opponent, regardless if that was like legitimate corruption or not, regardless of the intention even. Well, no, my bad. The intention does actually matter. And I kind of seems like Trump's intention was to win. Because Trump doesn't seem to care about corruption in like 99% of the world unless it can benefit him in his re-election campaign. I don't know. That just seems a little bit suspicious, and I really don't care if corruption is legitimate or not when it in regards to the Senate trial on Trump. To me, it doesn't matter because a quid pro quo is a quid pro quo. I don't know what arguments that the Democrats are making, but I don't know. Maybe this is my fault because I should be looking more into the Senate trial. I should be following that a little bit closely. But anyway.
One last observation. Yesterday, Representative Nadler threw up great indignation. And he said, out of hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian companies, how can it be that President Trump was just concerned with this one company, Burisma? Well, the obvious answer that the House managers ignore is Burisma was the only Ukrainian company that had the son of the vice president that had real prima facie indications of American corruption. We're not talking about some abstract interest in any sort of corruption that might exist in Ukraine, but if you have a sitting vice president making public policy decisions to benefit his family to the tune of $1 million a year, that raises a serious question of corruption, and a president not only is justified in...
So I just want to pause it right here because something I missed early in the video was Ted Cruz and a lot of people who are making these accusations on the Bidens, which, cool. One of the big arguments against them is, well, Hunter Biden had no experience, absolutely none when it comes to the oil industry or general management or whatever. Like, he's never even ran a Taco Bell before, let alone an oil company in Ukraine. Well, guess who also is drastically unqualified for their job? No, not Trump. Well, kind of, but someone that Trump appointed, Betsy DeVos, because the education system is something that I care deeply about. Someone who is not freshly, but not too recently removed from high school. I know how terrible high school is, and I also care deeply about a lot of the people who are still in high school, the hell that is the public school system, that is probably not getting any better because of defunding, because of wanting to privatize, wanting to cut government spending on necessary government industries. I know a lot of dumb boomers don't give a shit because they haven't been in high school for decades, but a lot of people who actually have been through it recently, we care because we understand. I don't know. That just I guess the word would be triggers me a little bit, but it pisses me off to see wasted generations just kind of pass by because our public school system is just dog shit.
Asking for that to be investigated, but has a responsibility to see that that's investigated. And that was a question not about Ukrainian corruption, but a question about American corruption, and Ukraine being integral in helping investigate whether there was, in fact, American corruption. I think we're going to hear another 2.5 days of arguments from the House Democrats, but the longer they talk at this point, the weaker the case is getting.
I want to end it on this. If they really do want Hunter Biden to testify that bad, sure, fine. Only on one condition. The Democrats are allowed to bring witnesses that they want. Because it seems like the Republicans want to bring in their Mimi Little witnesses to support their Mimi Little arguments that are kind of non sequiturs in my eyes. Sure, fine. As long as you're not going to be complete hypocrites and inconsistent in your arguments and be like, nah, we actually don't want the Democrats to be able to bring in witnesses that they believe are integral to their case. I don't know. I just hate hypocrisy. That's one of the things that I hate very much so. And I'm not necessarily calling Ted Cruz a hypocrite, which he probably is. At least I'm not calling him a hypocrite from the statements that he made in that 3-minute clip. But anyway, till next time, guys. Stay breezy. Always cheesy. I'm going to try to keep back up on the Senate trial and whatnot. Like, share, comment, subscribe, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, I don't know. All the stuff. Just do it. Peace.